Okay, everybody have a cell phone on them? Yes, I love it. I want you to think of 3 people that you love and trust. I want you to text them right now because your homework in a minute, it's going to make sense. And I want you to ask them in your words because I do say some bad words sometimes. But I want you to ask those 3 people that you trust, give me 3 sentences on why you think I'm a badass. So go ahead and get your phone out. 3 sentences. Put a timestamp on it. Say, hey, I really need this in the next 25 minutes. Okay? If you want to rephrase it, you can say, hey, this weird lady I just met is standing in front of me and she's staring at me. Please give me 3 sentences why you think I'm like kind of cool or whatnot. So we're talking about ways that we show up to, what was your question again over there? I forgot. I squirreled.
Oh, what was my question?
Yeah, what was it?
I moved on from that. What value I lead with is, and it helps me feel like grounded, confident, whatever that may be.
So how I like to lead and the value I hold is I'm kind of like a party starter. Like I love walking in and being like, all right, I'm going to be their hype girl. So making sure that everyone else is like taken care of in that way. So this is what we're going to do right now. So we're going to set that temperature right for you. And if nobody cries when they get their answers, you have to leave. Because we all see ourselves a certain way, right? But then when we talk to the people that we love and trust, we're like, okay, well maybe I'm doing a little bit better than I thought I was. So once you're done, you can copy and paste. Go ahead and set your phones down. And we'll get cruising. How does it make you feel asking 3 people that you like, love, and trust to like? How does it make you feel?
Curious.
You're like, I don't know.
I'm thinking like, are you crazy or what?
Yeah. So maybe a little vulnerable, right? You're like, why?
Are you okay?
Yeah. You're like, actually, I'm not.
Is it really you?
Yeah. What's your favorite animal? All right. Has anybody played this game before? I like to do interacting things, right? Because we learn kinetically too. What's this game? Jenga. Okay, tell me about it.
It's a balancing game.
Okay.
Is this before or after drinks?
Girl, I said I'm the party starter, so you tell me. What party am I going to? So when we're playing this game, what are we trying to do?
Keep the foundation strong.
Keep foundation strong, balance it, right? Prevent it from falling. But what happens when it does fall? Hard for the next person, right? We reset it, right? So if a few of you are brave during this time, when I ask you a question, I want you to answer it and then come knock out one of these. Okay, does it make you nervous to think you may ruin the Jenga piece in front of these people that you potentially don't know? No? Yes? I could go knocking it around, yeah, shit. Yeah. So I'm gonna build it right back up, right? Because that's what confidence is. Everyone ask their 3 people? Okay, cool. So who is, uh-oh. All right, so confidence is getting in situations and continuing, right? So I'm not gonna be sad that the E is somewhere else on my name. So who am I and why am I standing up here? We've all had situations in life. I can't believe that that all of our core feelings and responses start before we're 2. I just learned that today. That explains a lot. Maybe like some of you, you've had a shitty childhood. Maybe you went through a divorce. Maybe you lost your business. Maybe your dog died. Like, we all have situations, right? As Christina talked about, it's how we, okay. Don't look. But how we build our confidence is to continue to go through and pick ourselves back up, right? Because in that moment when we go through either our childhood or a divorce or whatever, I'm just using things that I know, right? So if it relates, cool. If not, put your memory in there. But is that we have to pick ourselves up and decide to not be the victim in that situation, right? And to decide how we're going to move forward with that. And every time that we get the rug swept up from underneath us, we have 2 choices, right? Because it is a choice. And it's you against yourself. Am I gonna dust myself off, try again? Or I'm gonna say, screw it, and I'm just gonna hang out here for a while. Neither is wrong, right? But where you wanna go in your life, because, I mean, really it's short, right? And at the end, we know where we end up. So why not dust yourself off, get up, and try again. So that's where you get confidence. Okay.
That's
So
the only other slide that has it. Everything else is formatted great. Something happened in your wording.
that's okay. At least it didn't cover my face. Just kidding. Just kidding. So what are some things that have happened in your life that haven't been, you don't have to share if you don't want to. Maybe you could talk about your friend's life if you don't want to talk about yours. You're a well girl. What's a hurdle that you've had to jump over? Can you come, there we go, okay. Tell the class, what's a hurdle?
Leaving a job in my 50s for something that wasn't serving me anymore.
I say that's 2. You should take 2 out there.
Why? Because I said my age?
No, because that's brave. Okay. Anybody else? Somebody else has had something. A hurdle that they've had to jump over. Come on, this table. Give me some. Ooh, it's good.
I can go ahead.
Let's go. Caroline. What do you like? Caroline? All right, we're standing up to project. Okay. I'm gonna go big here.
We're talking about cultivate traumas.
My dad died when I was 13. Had to learn how to be a person. All right, let's take 3 off. 3's good. Okay, it's a safe zone, right, everyone? We feel, yeah. Because believe me, I start talking and things start coming out. All right, this table. We got any hurdles? Yeah, let's go. Tell the class.
Hello, started from the scratch again. I got stuck in this country.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
2020,
Cool.
and not English, not anything, and look at me.
Yeah. All right, take out 5 for me.
5. I know.
We are this is okay. I also like to win. Okay. No, just kidding. I mean, I do like to win, but
I know.
come on, we got 5.
5.
You got it. You literally just told me some pretty cool stuff. Oh, that's part of the rule, though. You can't do that.
I can. I'm still learning.
Right. So when we do this, right, it's like how we approach situations. We're like, I really want to go towards something, but maybe I'm afraid. But when you think about being afraid, everyone's like, oh shit. But confidence is really doing things, right? It's being brave, and the only way we can be brave is by doing things when we're scared, or it's not bravery. Right? So she's being very brave right now.
Because this is, I think, the second time that I'm playing this. So.
I love it. Wait till it falls down. We can build it together.
No, it's NFL. It's alright. 5 is hard.
5 is hard. There we go. How many are you at? 3?
2.
2? Okay, we'll do one more.
One more?
One more.
Okay.
Life just handed you some golden tickets.
Any help? Anybody?
We can use help. Oh, you want to help her? Yeah. You look like a Jacob master.
This is gonna fail.
So how many of us are confident with asking for help? Yeah? Oh, 1. Cool. Great. 2. Okay, cool. 3. So out of the people that did not raise your hand, how many of you are happy to help others? A little higher. Well, that's weird. So instead of always being the one to help, what do you think, how could it improve your life if you were also to be the one asking for help? Anybody?
It allows others to get a chance to serve you.
Yes, right.
We enjoy doing it for others, a lot of us.
And selfishly, if you're thinking about what makes people excited or happy we talked about today, a lot of people probably said doing something for somebody else, or like when they were excited about things. So selfishly, if you like to help other people, ask other people for help, because they probably also enjoy helping other people. All right, did we get our Jengas?
3.
3, okay, I love it. All right, so we're talking about confidence and experience, right? Living authentically is important. Living not authentically is so hard though because we have this idea of what we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to look like, how we're supposed to talk, how we're supposed to walk, what we're supposed to do with our jobs, what everyone's already thinking. But deep inside, the more that you act like yourself, right, the more confident you are, because every day you're stepping in and like, I already know when I go places that people are like, oh, she's weird. And I'm like, cool. So I just, and if not, then I'm like, that's cool too. But just kind of accepting, not kind of, but accepting who you are on the inside and letting it on the outside. Because if you think about what's something, I can't read that well. Joy, what's another one on there?
Empathy, courage, genuine, open-minded, integrity, passion, creativity, love, curiosity, commitment, loyalty.
So as a whole, I like Spice Girls, okay? It's just when I grew up, so that's my analogy I use, right? So this is like Spice Girl shit right here, right? Like everyone's coming in, bringing a different spice to the table. How boring would it be if everyone was like, I want to step in that room with courage. And then everyone would walk in and they're like, wow, this isn't cool. Like, how do you connect, you know? Like, there's no superpower in another person. So living authentically can be hard, right? But as you learn yourself and you get that confidence that it's okay to be yourself and like the things that you like, listen to the music that you do, talk the way you do, or change your job at 50, right? Do you feel like you're living more authentically now?
Oh, yeah.
What was your job before?
I was a director at a preschool,
Okay, and then what are you now?
HR manager.
Oh, cool, okay. And then who else changed? Somebody else changed you. Wasn't that, okay, but you were HR and then went?
No, I was in a different industry, so I went from construction to
Oh,
hospitality.
construction to hospitality, okay. So how do you feel changed? Do you feel like that's more authentic to who you are in the hospitality part?
I think it is because it kind of made me realize since I was in accounting in both industries, it made me feel like I really truly like work. You know, I really
Mhm.
like the work now that I've been in different industries.
Yeah.
So, and I just feel like it's really good for my brain.
Right.
It just makes my brain feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, to keep going, keep working, trying new things.
So if we think about like when we're like we're like in middle school, right? That's probably a time we probably weren't living so authentically, would you say? Like you're like, okay, I need to go shopping here, I need to do these things. And then probably the older you get, right? Well, I'm not old, but the older I've gotten, I've realized that every year I feel like I step more into like who I am. And the more I always get teary about this part, but every time you step more into who you are, that's like who you're meant to be. And jeez, I'm also really soft, guys. And all these tattoos and black clothes, and I like to cry. But the more, and life starts opening up, right? The more authentic you are, life will start opening up, and you're not forcing doors open, and you're not just like, I used to be like a choo-choo train, man, but like one that's like, she's fucking coming, because I was gonna bulldoze anything that got in my way. But it's because I wasn't living authentically. I was forcing, what was that in your presentation? You were like forcing things to like happen, and it was in the blue part. I was like, oh, that's me.
Dismissive, avoidant,
Avoidance.
anxious.
Yeah, keep going, but yeah. But right, when you are forcing things, you're probably not living too authentically. I mean, now, yeah, I live in Wyoming. I'm pretending to be a chicken farmer with horses, and I'm gardening, and I kill air plants, and I live in California. So, but the more that you embrace who you are on the inside, and you start to actually live like that, you'll find that you are less anxious. You'll find that you're finding the people that you actually like, right? Because when you're not living authentically, it's probably hard to find friends. Because you're like, oh, this isn't exactly what I'm like here for, right? And then like, to live authentically, we do have to be brave, right? Because there's probably things about you that you're like, well, it took me a second to like step into this. I remember when I first started getting tattoos, I was a ballet dancer, and my grandma raised me, and she like worked in the White House a long time ago. So like all my tattoos were under my leotard, because I was like nervous. Right, I was also an adult. But eventually I was like, this kind of just who I am. That's why there's no tattoos on here, so I can still shake my grandmother's hand and be normal. But we have to like just start, right? So how we start is just by starting, which sounds super easy, right? If we're thinking about our business, or maybe who we work for, or our personal brand we're trying to build, or whatnot, everyone starts to do the research, right? They're like, well, let me see how to start. And I'm gonna tell you in 5 seconds, this whole spiel is just do it anyway, who freaking cares? Because you're gonna suck, you're gonna fail, you're not gonna be the best in the beginning, people aren't gonna like you, people are gonna think you're weird or whatever, or they're gonna think you're cool and you're gonna excel, but you're not gonna get to the other part of it unless you start, right? So when we're doing our personal brand or our business brand, or we're embarking on this new adventure, I'm gonna assume, because I'm with people that are like-minded, are we creative? Yeah? No? You don't like to come up with, okay, what do you like to do? Yeah.
Like just in general? Like
Yeah.
when I'm not at
What's a
work,
hobby?
hiking.
Okay, so do you like to like start Googling hikes and like figuring them out and stuff? She's like, just sign me up. Okay. Just go.
Like, so a place pops into my mind and I go if I have that time.
I love that side of you. I need a little bit of that in me. But typically when we're trying to do something new or embark on something new, we're researching it, right? And we're figuring out how not to fail. Is that even real? Because we're gonna fail, right? We're not gonna be awesome at it in the beginning. It doesn't matter what you do. So being brave, right, like I said, is doing it anyway. And it's okay to be scared, right? Like that, I think that is so important to like do things that do scare us. Like when's the last, like you can share if you want to, but if you think about like when's the last time that you've done something that scared you? Does anybody think of anything? Could be anything. Yep.
Next, I'm up next.
Okay. She's talking. But can you think about like, yeah.
I went out with my adult children to Italy, and I jumped onto a 40-foot cliff into the Adriatic Sea.
Oh man, I'm
Think
thrilled.
I would do it.
Yeah.
And I did it.
And you were scared though. Yeah.
That sea urchin burns on my stomach, but
Oh my gosh, but you were brave and you did it anyway. Has anybody had a, I love that. That's crazy. I like, I'm scared of heights, but has anybody had a business adventure? Maybe, yes.
I left after a decade working for a big corporate secure job with all the fancy schmancy benefits. And I left and jumped into a very unknown world of independent practice. And
Do you want to give your independent practice a shout out real quick? Because you got some.
followed everybody's forum. There is a little Aspen lead called Aspen Wealth Management. And I,
Yes, girl.
growing up over the past 10 years in a man's world where in finance you find yourself constantly like a black sheep. And you ask yourself enough times, is it me, is it me, is it me, until you find the resources and the support network that's like, bitch, it's not you.
Yeah.
What is you is that you're not doing anything about it. And so
Yeah.
yeah.
So did that give you confidence, being brave and doing it scared?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard. It's hard when, you know, you're doing something that's the niche that you don't necessarily think people will understand. But if you have the courage to ask and talk about it and say, hey, I need support because this is terrifying and I don't know what's going to happen. And when you have that support, it's amazing what happens on the other side.
And pen and paper is like so therapeutic almost, or important, right? When we're doing those decisions, writing down and naming like, what am I actually afraid of? Right? Because when you write it down and you're like, okay, I'm afraid of, what were you afraid of?
Failing.
Okay, why were you afraid of failing?
Because I have a family and a life to support, that if I fail and it backfires in my face, how am I going to help support them?
Right.
And I won't be able to give myself the time to spend with them because I failed.
And then I write that part down, and then I write the other side. But what if I win? So what was your like thoughts for what if this works?
I will have the power to help the people who need it the most and spend time and be present in my children's lives, unlike my parents were not able to be present in them. So to be the change.
And then I ask myself, is this scary shit worth this cool shit? And then I sit and I think, and I'm like, yeah, Now I don't do that so much anymore. I'm just like, let's just roll. Let's just see what happens. Because as you continue to do that, maybe not something that big. It could, right now I'm gardening. To me, that's almost like way scarier than starting a new business or public speaking. Seriously, I spent like $100 on these plants. I'm like, welcome to talk to you guys, easy. So it doesn't matter really how big or small it is, right? Because as the plant dies and you get a new one, or, right? Or, right, she decides that, hey, this fear is worth the squeeze. So do you guys ever write down your fears and like look at them? Because almost once you write down like what's the worst that could happen kind of thing, you're like, well, how would I navigate that? Because 99% of the time, you're gonna have an answer on how to navigate the worst thing that could potentially happen. And then you start understanding like, hey, body, we've been here again. We've done this thing. We've been alive for X amount of time. And look at all the things that we've already done. So how different is this depending on what you're doing, right? So naming those fears, because it's gonna help decide, am I going to move forward? Is anybody getting a response back yet? Yeah, raise your hand if you got a response back yet. Oh my gosh, people like you, I knew it. Okay, so we did our homework already, texting our top 3 people and asking them why they're awesome. Okay, so the paper that you guys have that says elevate, I want you to flip it over, because it's blank. And get your pen and paper out. Now I want you to write down why you are rad, or whatever cool word you like to use, okay? So I want you to write down 3 sentences. I'm not a sentences person, so I like bullet points. So you are adults, I'll let you decide. But I want you to write down 3 reasons or ways that you think you are rad. Because I already think you are rad. Not that it matters, but I do. What's up, dude? Ladies. Look, he's being brave, guys. He's probably scared and did it anyway.
I'll just see what's going on.
I knew it.
Yeah, I just see on the wrong spot.
Stage. Yeah. I did text him, sorry guys. All right, I'll give you 30 more seconds. Christina, you did a great segue for me, man. I love it. All right, now you're ready for the hardest part of this class? I want someone to stand up and tell me why they're rad. You got it. I do, yeah, I know you can do it. I know. Being brave is doing it anyway, doing it scared.
I'm Rose, and I'm genuine and fun and and there for my friends. Oh, and then I'm a friend.
Yeah! All right. I feel like this little corner, is somebody brave? Is someone willing to be scared and do it anyway? I'll do it. Okay.
I don't know. Okay. I'm a watercolor artist and I'm creative.
Yes.
And I'm a mountain maker and I'm adventurous.
I love that.
True.
That's awesome. All right, we did one here, one here. How about one from over here? Somebody be scared and do it anyway. Oh, we'll go to the back. Yeah.
I'm rad because I'm fun and nice, but I like me. I like me.
I love that. Nice. So when I said, hey, can you stand up and tell me why you're rad? Did you know that was coming? No? As soon as I said that, were you like, oh. Yeah, because I feel like the way that we talk about ourselves, sometimes it's easier to talk about like, oh, I didn't get my kids to school on time, or oh, like we always have these things that we're like willing to tell other people maybe that we failed on. But how often are you like, hey guys, I know you just met me, but can I just tell you something really great about myself? Right? Like that's so much harder. But in your friend group, maybe you could be like the ringleader, and when everyone starts kind of going off about their day, you're like, all right, before we get there, can we tell us why you had such a great day, right? Because what's the power in just understanding how important and rad we are? Right? That's like, it lifts you up. So when I say that I'm like a party starter or whatever, it's more like the temperature in the room or the temperature in yourself, right? When you start talking negatively, is that building confidence? No. But we know it right? So if we start practicing being that thermostat and raising the temperature in the room, we're gonna continue to build that confidence because shit's gonna happen, right? Like, it's gonna happen. There's no way to avoid it. But as we continue to dust ourselves off and move forward, every day it gets a little bit easier, right? And then when that bigger things start to come, we start handling them better, less anxiously, and her sciencey stuff, right?
I do have just a question, you
Yes.
may cover it here. Along with this confidence thing,
Yeah.
those that know me in this room, I do genuinely have a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
But the question there is like, when are you overly confident, and like when does it go into bragging or like self-righteous? And you don't have to answer that now, but it's like, how do you appear as just like a strong, confident person without appearing as like humble is something that I struggle with being. So
Do you feel like you're not humble?
I feel like I'm a badass and all these things.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of all the things that I've done, and I'm generally pretty happy to talk about them.
Yeah.
Versus I being humble.
Do you
is something
steal
that
the
I
show
struggle
from
with.
someone else?
Just in talking to you right now instead of
Well,
you letting
This,
yourself
no,
talk.
actually what you're doing, no, you're
Talking
bringing the
about
temperature up, right? No, because this is supposed to be about like belonging and elevating and connecting, right? So the questions are cool. So me personally, I would say that you like know your crowd, right? Like if someone's like, oh my gosh, I just got married, and you're like, I'm sorry, Deborah, I just got a new cat. I'm gonna tell you about it. Like that maybe I would be like, not the right time. But you also said, what were your 3 things that you read about again?
Genuine fun and
Okay,
my
genuine.
friends.
Do you think a genuine person is gonna be an asshole and just like steal the show and be too confident? That's your #1 quality that you saw in yourself. I would say, and the moment, it's kind of like when people are like, am I a bad mom? They're usually not bad moms. The bad moms are the ones that are like, I'm doing great. Or maybe, I don't know. That's just the people that I know, okay? But, so I would say because you are asking that question, you're probably Gucci. Yeah. Do you guys feel like if you're like too confident or like too proud of something, or like, oh, maybe I'm stealing their light, or do you feel like that's a thing too that she was talking about?
Yeah, I know when I started my new career several years ago, it was fake it till you make it. Like be confident until you actually can do it. I always had that in my mind.
We started with that, but then we changed it to fake it till you become it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How about you practice it till you become it? What's up, girl?
I was gonna say, I just think as women, we're told to be humble too often, right? I mean, really, if we can stand in our power and in our confidence, not to be okay, do we sometimes think that men are worried if they're humble and everybody is worried if they're humble? I don't know, not really, but we do, and we worry about that in interactions, and am I coming across too strong in this board meeting, and am I being too opinionated, am I coming with too much strategy? And I don't know that we have to ask ourselves that all the time. I think we can pull that out and maybe just feel that rad part of ourselves if we need it.
And if it comes from a good place, it's not going to be interpreted wrong unless you're in the wrong crowd. Because I get it, there's times where I've like walked in and I'm like so stoked on something. Actually, I got in trouble at my not job because I was super excited and I was like, oh my gosh, we should do this and da 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 da. And she was like, you don't treat me with respect. And I was like, well, bitch, I'm a joyous person and that's what I was doing. So wrong crowd, right? So if you find yourself, like Liz said, like you should be those things. And there's so many times that we've been told like, hey, don't do that. But there's a time and a place for everything. But if it comes to like friends or like people that, you know, you want to be around, if they're the ones that are like, you said Rose is what you like to be called, right? Yeah, okay. They're like, shh, then you're like, okay, it's time to get new friends. Because you are living authentically then. You're like, hey, I'm stoked. I just did something cool. Everyone should be stoked on that. That's your friend, right? And so if they're not, then it's like, okay, they're not the crew. Or how I was living then doesn't match how I'm living now. In my own opinion.
I was thinking that too, that it's on them, not you. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you
Really.
find your folks.
Yeah.
Totally. This is new, so I gotta like look at it 12 times. Okay, project 1. We started it. So, but we're gonna fail, right? As soon as we accept that we're going to fail at something, it kind of relieves some stress of like starting or being afraid to fail. You know, I have a 16-year-old. What do you think he just learned to do? Drive. Do you think he sucked or was awesome? Yeah. Right? So he had to figure out his own Jenga. Right? He failed his first driving test because he drove like me, is what he said. He was like, Mom, you're supposed to stop behind the stop sign. And I'm like, I can't see. And if someone was there, like if I was gonna hit him, I'd see him. So he took my experience right to his driving test. Now he's been driving for almost a year, so he's been practicing his confidence, right? Like, do you think he was scared to like turn onto the highway? Do you think he was like scared to drive on the snow? I mean, I almost died one time. And then learning to park and just like trying to navigate all these things, but he's only been doing it a year, and is a year a long time to actually be practicing something? And if you think about it, it's heavy machinery. It's kind of dangerous, right? So he's been doing something for 1 year that's kind of dangerous. But he accepted that was our talk, right? You're not going to be good at this when you start. So at first he honestly didn't want to start. So I had to like beg him. I'm like, can we go to the cemetery where no one is? No one's going to see you, right? And that's kind of, what's that?
No one living.
Yeah, everyone's cool, no one's judging you, they're doing their own thing, right? But so once he kind of accepted that, like, this is something I need to do, because he should do it, right? And then I'm not going to be good at it, and we talked about possible scenarios, right? Then he got more confident, and in those situations where we almost died going onto the highway in the snow, he was more confident the second time we pulled onto the highway with snow, right? So go ahead and list some times that you have like maybe failed at something and survived. Write down 2.
Are we reading these out loud?
You can put a Jenga block down if you want. Ideally, I would like this to fall in the next 10 minutes. So instead of writing it down, if you want to come do a Jenga piece and just say it really loud, you're welcome to. Here, I'll do a big one. I failed at owning a business during COVID. Anybody else got a failure? Anybody want to share a failure? Cool hair, come on. We'll do this fast.
Yesterday I failed at giving constructive feedback to my boss.
Ooh, nice. Take 2 out. Anybody else want to share real quick? One more person. Okay.
I failed at not trying to hang back and not hold my strong presence into an organization. And it didn't go well. I hope you make it fall.
Yeah, I would be really on point with what we got going on right now.
I believe in you.
All right, guys, what do we do now? We rebuild! You don't have to rebuild it, I got it. But right, how many of you were nervous that that was gonna fall? Anybody? Yeah? Especially in the beginning where you're like, oh God, where is this going? Right? So we're always going to rebuild. Well, not always, but that should be the goal. All right, so when we're building our brand, we have 2 different brands, or 2 different ways that we can building our brand. Either a personal brand or a business. As much as we focus, who has a business here? Oh, I would raise my hand higher in case someone wants to use their money. They want to use their money and give it to you. So raise your hand if you have a business. Okay, that's a little better. All right, and then who has a personal brand?
What?
A personal brand. Yeah, a little. Yeah. Okay. So many times we try to disassociate ourselves from our business, right? We're like, we want our business to be separate. But the core values of the business is probably going to reflect on who you are. So remembering that you are the master behind the idea, and it's okay to freaking shine. right? You're like, yeah, that's my business. I did that, and that's a part of me. And that you're the talent behind it, right? We can build these businesses because we're like, we want to help other people, but also other people didn't put their money and their time on the line, so you did. So it's okay to, you know, like, be proud about that. And then also merging yourself into your brand. So for those of you that do have businesses, is your business a reflection of you, or is it like a separate entity?
Separate entity.
Can I ask what it is?
Smart homes.
Oh, I love that.
Technology.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then who has the personal brand? So I'll tell you this. Raise your hand if you have social media. Like a little, so I can like see who does it. Okay, a little higher, a little higher. Do we work out? We use our arms? Okay, good. So if you are on social media at any point, I will say you are a personal brand. It's how you show up. I hate Joe Rogan, but I'll tell you, he is very good. I was like, I need to find somebody better. But everyone either hates him or loves him. He's a great example of it, right? He's like, I'm into smoking weed, I'm into aliens, I'm into sports, right? And I'm into podcasting. Like, so you, who you are, you're already a brand, right? And that's how people monetize that. So living authentically and showing those things that you like. I used to think I only had to show like, well, I do hair and here's this hair, right? But really, I'm just a maverick. I'm just a rule breaker. I'm just somebody who just likes to do whatever the hell they want to do and make money for it because I hate people telling me what to do. And that's just my brand. Okay. Does anybody want to read one of their feedbacks from their text messages real quick? Yeah. This is the fun part, guys. Yep. Read it out loud for the class.
People that don't have the nicest English, the people that text calm during a shit storm.
Okay.
Do you want more than that?
Yeah. I want to know it all. I told you I'm going to know all of you.
Loyal as hell and up for any adventure.
How'd that make you feel to read?
Oh
Yeah? Awesome. I love that. Okay, yes.
You keep a positive attitude even when shit sucks. You think outside of yourself. You're looking at other people and how they're doing. And the third one said, you choose me as a friend.
Cute. Anyone over here? No? Okay, we got one over here.
Alright. You're making the jobs. You are doing the job to people. Making tough decisions on your own and raising a family with love, strength, and resilience. That takes courage, grit, and heart to bring back to your people.
Awesome. Love that. All right, one more person. Great. Finally, when I did this, I like cried. I was like, I like this. That was mean. All right, anybody, right here. Nobody likes you guys? Okay, yeah. Good. You want to stand up, or do you like sitting? Okay.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Best sister ever. Obviously, that's my sister. Mom of crazy boys and rock the male-dominated field.
Oh, nice.
You work hard and you also let me make copies of my butt on your office I worked at Gallegos when I was in middle school. That's for my son.
So translating that into your business confidence. You're like, I have a copy machine. So when we show up in our personal life authentically, we're brave because we're doing scary shit, we're building confidence, all of that. Do you see how the ball just keeps rolling, right? And then we decide we're gonna shift. Where did she go? She's going. She's like, okay, I'm gonna open up my own thing. It's just like building the blocks, right, to having more confidence. Okay. Feel like we could step into our confidence a little bit, guys? Okay. If you want to hang out, you can use QR code. If not, that's cool too.
Thank you.
One thing we do in Roaring Fork Leadership in a lot of our programs is we bring in different styles of presenters. And the reason being is we all resonate differently with different styles. So that's part of the curation of this, is just to bring different styles, different energies, and we might hear messages differently as well. And that's likely those lenses of how we see the world So I appreciate your a lot of openness, right, to these ideas and concepts and styles that are in the room beyond the presenters, within all of you. So when we think about that, two things. Oh, fear. Your word fear. Has anybody ever heard of the acronym for fear? Yeah? Do you,
I can't remember, right?
false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Okay. There's probably some versions of it, just, you know, we all love to play with acronyms. But that one stuck with me. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, it's false evidence, but sometimes when we take that fear, we think it's real. And then, like, do that list, like almost a pros and cons list, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, this one over here feels so much better. Push that one away, because that was all false evidence, right? That our brain, that narrative that Christina was talking about. The other fun thing I was thinking about, I had my kids telling me one time, was it like this argument of like, you're the worst mom ever? Anybody a mom? Any kid ever tell you that? Yeah. So talk about a shift. The moment my kids said that, we were like sitting across the kitchen counter, and I went, worst mom ever. And it just lit, you know, we all just was like, oh my God, mom. And then it was like, it just changed the energy in the room. And I don't know where that came from. Yeah, but it was kind of fun. Talk about finding your power, finding your brand, you know, just like not reacting necessarily, but like absorbing it. I'm like, sure, I can see how you see me on the worst mom ever. But it's kind of fun to play with these things and own sometimes where we're at and who we are in those moments, because we're all not perfect. So during our next break, now that we've gotten some, we've tapped into this energy of like our powerfulness, also maybe what our brand is, it'd be interesting to hear from each other what others are seeing in you and what's showing up. So here's the connector during our next break. So you could walk up to somebody and say, based on your energy that I am observing right now, I describe your personal brand as, and fill in the blank. Oh, girl. Okay, so just kind of, I'll say it again, based on your energy, like pick up that energy that we're seeing within each other and describe your personal brand.
Their personal brand.
Yeah, sorry. Yep. I describe your brand, right? I'm observing.
Oh, projecting my thoughts.
Okay, so let's do that over the next break, and we are going to be back in our seats at what time? Sorry. 3:15. So you got 14 minutes.
Did you do the
Yes, I did.
What did you say?